Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to discuss three-way calling. It came up in the last training that we did on how to three-way call, why is three-way calling important, how do you get someone on a three-way call. A lot of people, just the ability to say, I want to do a three-way call with my upline, and most people are like, no thanks, I don't want to do a three-way call. And then what do you do now? You've already had them say no to you directly to your face. How do you overcome that and get them to the point where they're willing to do that three-way call with you? Susan's lapping, or Elizabeth's lapping her house. So when she gets settled into a chair, she'll be ready to join us. Poor girl. So I think what we're going to do is I picked on someone tonight, and I asked her to share, because in our team, there's a few things that we do right out of the gate when we enroll somebody. So in the beginning, as soon as you have a prospect, we've taught from day one, they have to have a three-way call with somebody at some point. From the three-way call, we move into a welcome call. Once they are technically enrolled, they become an IR or a PC. That question was asked of me today. IR or PC, they get a welcome call. Most of your PCs will transfer to being IRs. So you still want to teach them the right way to come in, because however...
Keep talking.
Can everybody still see us? Okay.
Yeah,
so however they come in is what they're going to do in the future. So if you treated them like a PC, don't really give them the time of day as far as the plugging them into the system, they will do the same thing. And more often than not, most people will upgrade to being an IR eventually. So always just assume from day one that the system works for everyone. So three-way call, then a welcome call. Then as soon as someone's enrolled, we send them an email that says, hello, welcome to our team. It has all of the direct links on it that we think are important for people to do. So the Facebook groups, the 12 and 24 training, how to set their rotator, how to complete the roadmap to Diamond, all of that's in there. Yeah. And then from the welcome call, they are given 48 hours to complete their roadmap to Diamond. If we don't hear back from them in 48 hours, we get on the phone with them, gauge their interest level. If they're not showing any progress or interest in filling out their paperwork, and they're really not completing Hi Debbie, and they're really not completing those things, Chris and I don't put a ton of effort in. That's just the reality of it. You only can work with 12 people at once and do due diligence to 12 people. Anything above that, and your focus is just going to get too split. So Chris and I, if we see people are doing their paperwork properly, they're doing three-way calls, they're doing edification, they're doing welcome calls, they call us, we drop everything, and we will do whatever we can to go help that rep. So Susan came on board, and Susan has a fun story, because I don't want to take too much from her. I hope that she shares her journey with you guys. But I've known Susan for quite a few years now, and Susan was watching Chris and I for a long time, and she was watching what we did. And so when Susan came on board, we told her, you need to pick your goals, and you need to pick what you want to achieve, and Chris and I will show you how to do it. But you need to do what we tell you to do, and you need to plug in the way we tell you to plug in. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to recreate anything. And she did. From day one, Susan has had us on three-way calls with every prospect she's ever talked to. She's had us on multiple follow-up three-way calls, not just one. She gets me on the first three-way call. She gets me the second three-way call, the third three-way call. I'm like, Susan, you can handle this by your own, right? I don't want to do it by myself. Get on the phone. So, and she's right. And then she follows up, and then she enrolls the people, and then we call them back, and we do a welcome three-way call with them. And then now, guess what? Susan's next generation is already duplicating, because there's Debbie. You guys can see Debbie on Zoom. Debbie is Susan's enrollee. Debbie enrolled someone today, her first rep. Round of applause. Welcome. So Debbie did a three-way call with her prospect and got Chris on the phone, and now has a prospect that's enrolled. So guess what? Susan's duplicating. Duplication means you did something right. If you don't have a second generation that's enrolling people and you're not growing, you missed a step. That's just the truth of it. So
monkey see, monkey do.
And so we asked Susan, we said, okay, Susan, we can tell everyone to do these things, but you're the girl who came on board, you put yourself aside, and you just did it. So can you share with the team what it is that you do? What's your method? How do you three-way call? Let us into your head and teach us how to do this properly. So words of wisdom from Susan Solomon. The floor is yours, my dear.
Thank you. Good to see you all. Let me not waste any more of your guys' time, since Debbie, this is way past your bedtime, I know.
2 hours ahead, or 3 hours.
Debbie's joining us from Iowa, so they're 2 hours ahead.
Right.
Okay, so my name is Susan Solomon. I live in Washington State. I'm originally from South Dakota. Debbie is my cousin. And I left home at 22, and primarily the only language I'd ever spoken was German. So I did not start speaking English until I left on a daily basis until I left home when I was 22. I would have loved to leave home at 19, but I was in a car accident, and I had to learn how to walk again. So I couldn't leave home at 19 like I wanted to. So anyways, so yeah, so basically with speaking German, a lot of times in my brain, when I'm thinking German and I say it in English, it is completely the opposite. Instead of saying, the house is white, it would say the white is house. It's just completely backwards. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. I just can't
We
hear
can we can hear you great, Susan. I just keep everybody on mute because then you don't have a lot of background noise, and that's a lot easier for everybody to focus on you.
Yeah, you
Okay.
sound great though. Keep going. You're doing
Yeah, you sound
wonderful.
great.
All right, great. So when I first so I watched Leah and Chris, and I wanted to sign up. They signed up in April. I wanted to sign up in May. They said there's no way you're breastfeeding, you're not getting any coffee. So I had to wait till my husband gained weight, and then I was able to say I need coffee for my husband to lose weight so I could try it, right? So I watched him for 9 months because I got really desperate because I'm like, I really need some of this coffee. I'm sick of them getting all the results, and I'm sitting here on the sidelines watching the world go by, right? So I got my first box of Italian roast, tried it, and it changed my life. It did. The first cup changed my life. It like I tell everybody, I feel like I woke up from a 10-year nap. That's how much mental clarity. My brain fog was gone. I didn't lose it on my kids. I was just even keyed all day. It was great. And then the energy level, I was able to get all my work done instead of going to bed frustrated that my list was still there. So anyways, what next? So Leah and Chris wanted me to tell you, what are my goals and my dreams. When I used to clean houses for a living, and that's a lot of work. You want to do a brick and mortar business, you're gonna be there first thing in the morning. You're not gonna leave till nighttime. You will work the skin off of your hands trying to get a business going. Because I tried with cleaning business, I couldn't get it off the ground. So when I saw the team, Chris and Leah, when I saw the team that I had, and they said I should pick my dreams and goals, and I did. And I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing. So to keep it simple, and then she just said duplicate. And so I wrote down 3 things that I try to remember. There's only 3 things we need to do, right? 3 basic things that, on top of going to the conferences and 15 minutes of personal growth every day. It's basically number 1, give out samples with your business card or your postcard. When you go to the grocery store, the bank, or the library, or just people in your life, right? And the second one is get a phone number. When I first started hanging them out, I wasn't getting phone numbers. I couldn't call anybody back. Marley. And the third way was do a 3-way call. And a 3-way call, when Leah said, I'm going to get on the phone with you and I'm going to do all the talking, I'm like, hey, I don't have to talk. I just put your phone on mute. I'm like, yes, what a relief. I don't have to talk. So right then, I just followed the steps. And I didn't even think about it because my number 1 thought is I don't have to talk. I'm just going to learn. And if it takes me a year to learn, God bless Leah. Maybe Leah will do 3-way calls with me for a year. I just took it one step at a time. And I'm like, woof, if that's all I have to do. And I think it was our 3rd or 4th call with Leah where I realized she wasn't a magician. I realized she wasn't God. And I realized that, hey, I can do this. Marley, stop it. My dog's super loud. Marley. I realized that, oh my gosh, she's just listening to people, reading in between their lines and just figuring out what they need, because the world of social media and text and computers, people don't get personal anymore. It's just not personal anymore. So I found with my prospects, they love that personal side of three-way calls. They love the fact that somebody took the time out of their busy day just to get on the phone with them. And and what's helping me, I think, is also my Facebook Live videos, because I tell myself I'm not perfect and I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to make 1,000 mistakes a day. Okay? 1,000 mistakes a day. I've seen 1,000 times a day. And that's when the burden lifted off of me, that I don't have to be perfect. And I'm going to do live videos. And yes, it's nerve-wracking, as all my friends say. They're like, I'm not going to do live videos. It's nerve-wracking. But you know what? It helps you to get used to you making mistakes and not having to be perfect, is what I found. It does. And Leah and Chris, what else? Okay.
So, Susan, what is it that is, now we talked about how in the beginning you had to get yourself out of the way because you were nervous. And there's this point where you have to approach the person regarding being open to the three-way call at all. How do you transition from introducing someone to Valentis to getting me on the phone with you? What's the steps that you use where you say, I want you to look at my weight loss coffee. What do you do that lends me to be on the phone? Can you give us a bit of a step-by-step?
Sure. Gotta put my dog outside. He is so noisy.
I can see you hiding out in your garage so that the kids don't find you. Well done, by the way.
I love this place. It's so nice and cool.
What's your routine? You introduce Valentis to somebody, and how do you transition from that to getting them on a three-way call with me or Chris?
I give them a sample. Depending on the conversation, what we talked about, if they're drinking Starbucks, I ask pull my card out with the coffee sample staple to it, and I just ask them if they'd like to try it. The biggest thing that I found was not to push it too hard. Okay, you want to know what I do? Every person.
How do you get me on the phone?
Pretend like you're talking to one of your people.
Yeah.
And then you're going to transition and say, you know what? Let's do this. You in your mind, you're thinking, okay, we're going to do a call with Chris or Leah.
A tip is you call me first, and then what do?
Right.
I call Leah first, and then I tell her a little bit about my prospect.
Yeah.
And also what I started to do after listening to the prospect's recording, what I started doing is put both my prospect and Leah or Chris on the phone, tell them a little bit about the person.
Yes.
Tell them I met them at the kiosk in the mall. They got 4 kids. They want to build their own business. They're looking for opportunities. Their friends are pressuring them, and they just haven't quite, you don't quite have figured it out what they want to do yet. So, and I said, here's my friend Leah. Leah, here's my friend Tanya.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let her, she's been in the business for longer than I have, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about Valentis.
Perfect.
That's it.
So when Susan calls me, she says, hi, I have so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And then she has me, sorry. That's really loud. She has me already on the phone. So I'm already on the line. She calls the prospect and she says, hi, I wanted to follow up with you about the sample that I gave you the other day. And because I'm so new, I wanted to have someone who's been in the business longer than me explain it to you, because I wanted to make sure I got you all the correct information. So-and-so meet so-and-so. And she's already got the call connected, and she doesn't even ask. It's not about getting permission and having the person say no to you. She doesn't even ask. She just says, Leah meet so-and-so, so-and-so meet Leah. And then they go, oh, okay. And because I'm seasoned at three-way calling, I know how to step in and transition that without it being awkward. So then it's, oh, hi, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And you start asking some questions and you chit-chat. I think Susan and I have only ever had one time where the person was not up for the three-way call, and that was not us. That was them. They were going through a personal journey. So I think these are three-way calls coming in. So we found that very successful. If you try to get the person on the phone and then you say, hey, I just want to do a three-way call, hang on a second. They go, no, that's okay. I don't need to do that. You don't ever ask permission. You need to assume that the person needs this and it's for them, even though they don't even know it yet. So what is that feedback? Where's that coming from?
That is from, I think, one of the other microphones that are on.
Okay. So that's all Susan does. She calls me and she says, okay, ready to do some three-way calls? And I say, yes, I am. And she says, okay, first person is. She gives me their information. I sit there. She dials their number. When they answer, she says, hi, how are you? Have you had a chance to try the coffee yet? They say, yes, I have. And she says, okay, perfect. Well, I've got my friend Leah on the phone and then here's the most important part, guys, edification. So if you're going to do a three-way call and it sounds something like this, I've got my friend Leah on the phone. I wanted her to tell you about Valentis. And they go, okay. So I've got my friend Ted Wilson on the phone. Ted Wilson's been in the industry for 28 years. He was our $1 million earner last year. He has a background in nutritional and kinesiology. He is one of the creators of our 12 and 24 program. He works directly with our CEO, and you edify him. You've now positioned him as an expert. If he's an expert, people automatically believe what he says. So then you've now edified him, and then you introduce him to the prospect. You have to edify, or three-way calls don't hold as much value. Your subconscious brain doesn't have the same filter on it that your conscious brain has. So when your subconscious brain is being told information, it can't tell the difference between reality and a falsehood. If you have someone on there as a third party, if you hear one thing, you go, oh, I don't know. If you hear it twice, you go, okay, there's got to be something to this. It's been said twice now. But if the person's been established as an expert, that's when your three-way call gains ground. So don't just throw two people on the phone unless you've explained that person is privileged to be speaking to the person on the phone because they're currently talking about basketball with Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan.
Can I add to that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I learned this one from Don Carson. He is a master at matching people.
Yeah.
So finding out what their ailment is, what their vocation is, whatever it is that's going to be attractive to them, to Valentis. He's remembering stories or people who have similar vocations or problems that this person has, and he's able to say, all right, that's going to be a pair. And so when he's talking to the person and introducing them, he'll say, I know that you have X and this person had X. This has been their experience with Valentis. Let them tell you their story.
And that's what Susan does with me. So when she gives me the history on her prospect, when she says to me, this person has 4 children and they homeschool, well, right away I know that I can relate to them because I can explain to them how to build a business and be a homeschooling mother. If she says this person's in, an IT background, but they're sick of making $15 an hour and they don't know how to transition into being an entrepreneur, right away we pop Chris on the phone because we know that he'll respond. If we know that the person has type 2 diabetes, they're struggling with metformin, right away we're going to tell them about Chris's friend Joe who no longer takes metformin. So you always want to be able to pull something out of that prospect that you can use to connect on that three-way call. Edification is super important. Not asking permission is important. Unless that person is really open and super busy and they're open to planning one by appointment, I've done that that's generally not going to be your first contact with them though. I had a lady that I had contact with her quite a few times, and then I finally said, I would love to get you on the phone with Kathy Gregory, and I gave them the whole story as to why, and they said, sure, no problem. How about Monday at 11? And now I'm going to get them on the phone. But that's very rare. Usually you're kind of dive bombing people. That's the reality of it. It's really, people don't know what they need until you teach them that they need it. And they're not going to respect the fact that they need it until afterwards when they're going to be grateful and thank you. So because we understand the value, we have to believe that for them before they're even in a position to recognize it.
Yeah.
So Susan, how do you feel three-way calls have impacted your business? Because there's some people out there that don't use them. There's some people out there that are independently building their teams, but they're also not duplicating, and that can feel kind of frustrating. So as a person who has three-way called every single prospect on your list and is growing, you've got a lot of enrollments this month. Congratulations, by the way. I think you've got 5 new reps on your team in the month of July already, or month of June already. As a person who's using three-way calls, how do you feel it impacts your business?
It makes a difference between make it or break it.
So it's vital.
It's yes, extremely vital. Without that three-way call, there's no connection. There's no,
Can you screenshot it?
The sincerity, people have to talk. People have to talk to Leah or Chris. They have to, just like you just said, in order for them to know what's like. Okay, for example, Sharon on the phone yesterday, she hadn't even tried the coffee. She ordered after talking to Leah for a couple minutes, and then Leah handed it over to me. She bought 6 boxes without even trying the coffee.
Yeah.
We just told her what the acceleration pack would do, and
Keep talking. You're good.
okay, sorry, that threw me off. I disappeared. We just
Okay,
told
I'll put it up in a second.
we just told her what it would do, and she ordered. Now she was wide open. She was really open. There, it helps us for me to see Chris and Leah there. Did I answer your question? I think you answered your question. Then you asked me. Do you want me to just say it in my own words?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what's the question again?
How do you feel that? Yeah.
How do I feel with 3-way? It validates it. Third person validation. It connects it to a real person. I feel like it opens everything up. Like everything opens up. Nothing happens until a 3-way call happens. Let's just say that. Nothing happens. It's just words. It's just Facebook. It's just Messenger. It's not real until you do a 3-way call. And there's no connection.
So what have you noticed about during through? So say you've had the first initial conversation with your prospect. What have you found happens a lot when your prospect gets on the 3-way phone call? What is it that you find? How do you find your prospect responds?
I found it very, very positive. Even if they're closed off, they start opening up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And when they start talking, maybe telling us about their problems, and we're able to give them an answer back, all of a sudden they started noticing even more. Go turn another movie on, Julie. Hey, the movie's done. Should I put a longer one on?
So one of the things that Susan told me was that she's had people where she's prospected them and they were just super closed off and they really weren't ready to build and she wasn't getting very far with them. And then she popped them on a 3-way call, and suddenly after a 3-way call, these closed off people who weren't building turned into people who were suddenly super interested and even ready to consider a business builder pack because being plugged into the system. So if you're trying to build this business on your own, you're not doing 3-way calls and you're not doing connect calls, you are swimming upstream. So we want to screen share something because here's our 3-way call warrior. She has been busting 3-way calls from day one, and we've taught her that it's a 90-day cycle, right? Whatever you plant and whatever you water today, you will harvest in 90 days. That's how direct marketing works. So you can't get frustrated right away if it's not growing tomorrow. But this is proof that what she's doing works because it's June 6th.
Out of 100,000 reps in Valentis, guess who's number 12?
Can you guys see that?
Are you kidding me?
You're number 12 in the world, Susan, with 4 enrollments already in the month of June.
Oh my gosh.
Can you see that?
How did that happen?
3-way calls, baby!
Oh, smokes. Oh my gosh.
So
What?
you're planting your seeds, you're watering them with 3-way calls, and they're growing, obviously, right? And it will explode. It's going to take off. It's exponential.
So am I going on the cruise yet?
You keep this pace up.
Absolutely will. If you continue doing what you're doing, and there's a spot up there for sure. Yeah.
So what we're going to do now, because it's hard for us to ask the right questions for what you guys on the line might directly want to be learning yourselves. So each of you, each of us, all of us have our own individual struggle and those hurdles where it's just that one little gut punch that makes it so hard to make that next step. So we're going to open it up to questions and answers. You guys can ask Chris and I or Susan or anyone else who's done 3-way calls. How did Susan get over that initial feeling of, actually, Susan, this is something we talked about too. Do you remember how we said, if you're putting your reps on the phone with somebody else, you have to trust that person. And that's hard because you're trusting that that person on the 3-way call can do a better job with that rep than you can. And not everyone has that trust where they can say, here, I've prospected this person so hard and I'm going to hand them to you, and this three-way call is going to make or break it, because if you do a bad job, they're not interested. And that's a bit of a holding pattern. That's actually what happened with Chris and I. I didn't trust anyone else out there to do a better job presenting Galantis to my prospects than I could. And so thank you, Susan, for trusting Chris and I enough to be able to take your prospects and put them in our hands, because that says a lot about you believing in us, and we don't take that job lightly. So thank you from Chris and I for you believing in your sponsors.
Oh, we could have shown them what we were doing.
And so we're taking everybody off of mute now, and you guys are all able to ask Susan, myself, Chris. If you have any questions about three-way calling, getting people on the phone, how it works, if you have a testimony about three-way calling that you would like to share, floor is open. Whoever speaks first, it's yours.
Woo!
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say that I realized just, my mistakes in the three-way call. Like, I was so excited about doing three-way calls, and I know that I need to do it, but what I didn't do it is I wasn't validating you guys. I wasn't. So it's like I would start to talk to them, and then I'd almost break out in a sweat in between, and then I would dial the phone, and it's like, okay, Leah, here you go. And you're like, oh gosh, oh no, like, what do I say? So I realized in listening to Susan, I realized that I need to edify you guys so that you do come across as the expert.
Yes.
And, so I really see that I need to do that. And I see the, you know what else I see? I see the, what do I see? Not the validation. I see the importance of following up with a three-way call after I have given product.
Yeah.
And that I have not been doing. So I've been talking to them, but I'm not following up with a three-way call so that you guys, so that you can actually get in it to see, so that you guys can actually speak to them about it. So me asking them, I'm not the expert because I just gave it to them, right? I just started. So I see the benefit. That's what I wanted to say. I see the benefit of doing a three-way call after I've given product.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, you have a fantastic method. I'm going to toot your horn too. You and Steve had us on 6 three-way calls the first week you were enrolled? I mean, you guys came flying out of the gate. What is your method? Because you have a method, and what are you doing to get people on three-way calls, and how is it working for you?
Do you know what? So my way was I would just start talking to them, and because Don Carson said, don't ask them, because I did. The very first time I asked them, I said to this one prospect, I said, oh, do you want to do a three-way call? And she says, no. Okay. So,
now what?
and when I said that to Don Carson, he says, you never, ever ask them if they want a three-way call. He says, what I always do is I always just say, hang on. And I thought, you know what? I can do that. So when I start talking to them, about the product, then I just say, hang on. And I literally just call Leah, and then I start talking to her, and I put her on speaker. But now I see that I need to edify you. So it's like taking it up a notch, right? So I'm just going to take it up a notch. But you know what? It really does work to just say, hang on.
Yep.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah. Totally works.
So what she's doing is during the conversation, she's waiting for a question. And she's not being the expert. She doesn't have all the answers. And as soon as they ask her a question, well, if somebody enrolls, do I make the $100 bonus? She goes, oh, hang on. Pops me on the phone. She goes, hey, Leah, I've got somebody sitting here who asked me a question about the comp plan. I have no idea because I'm brand new. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
Three-way call. That's your open door. And you've now just taught every person that you enroll and every person that you bring on board that they don't have to be the expert. They're not building alone. They don't have to spend 6 months studying everything before they can build their own team. All they need to do is be able to use the three-way call function, and suddenly now their team will build. Because you will find that your reps will freeze. As soon as they're enrolled, if you didn't bring them on through a three-way call, they will freeze because they think, oh my gosh, I don't know how to build this business. What do I do? And they don't have a system to plug into. So I'm also going to say with the three-way calls, you guys, your roadmap to Diamond is your key to this, because in there it talks about your 3 enrollers. And when Chris and I enroll people, we actually give them 6. We try to give 6 names and numbers of people that they can call. You need to have your list of 6 that are working at all times for you. If Chris and I are in the middle of the mountain range somewhere on the way to North Dakota visiting Susan in South Dakota, and
Which will happen soon.
we don't have cell phone service, you need to have a list of people that you can use for your three-way calls.
Yep.
And not everyone has the same method. So Chris is very different on three-way calls than I am. Don Carson is very different on three-way calls than Ted Wilson is. That's different than Mike King. So we have a list of people. And if Chris is talking to somebody on an oil rig in Alberta, Mike King's on the phone.
Yep.
If I'm talking to, it depends. It depends on whoever you're talking to. So through form, when you're talking to these prospects, you can hear what is their need, what is their struggle. I recently had a woman and her daughter both have Crohn's disease. I got her on the phone with somebody in Valentis who has had great results with their products dealing with their Crohn's. So line people up that are the right connection. Those testimonies are powerful.
And if you don't know who might be a good fit,
Ask us.
ask us. We've met hundreds and hundreds of people in Valentis, and Leah has a great memory with all the things that they've told her. And I remember some of it, but write it down. She writes it down, right? Just ask us, and we'll be able to connect you with somebody.
I was going to say that's what events are for. When we went to our very first event, you guys, I had my phone with my camera open, and I walked up to every person I could find in that room, and I said, "Can I take a photo with you, please? I'm so and so." And I introduced myself to every person in that room, and I tell you, I've got a working list of a good 50 names and numbers I could call right now to support me in a three-way call.
Yep.
So when you go to those events in Langley, your job is to gather business cards, names, phone numbers, make connections, listen to people's stories and testimonies, and write down their name, their struggle, and how Valentis answered it for you or for them. And you keep track of all of that, and then when you go home, those people are your soldiers. They are going to get in your corner, and they're going to help you build, because Valentis truly is a family, and you do not have to be connected to people in order to be on their team. In fact, I'm going to point out on our Zoom right now, we've got Jane. Hi, Jane. I see you.
Hi.
And we've got Wendy and Terry up there in the corner. Not our direct enrollees, but on our team building together, because that's what we believe in for Valentis. So get into those group events and pen and paper, write down names, phone numbers, stories, and ask them permission. Do you mind if I ever come across someone who has a similar story to yours? Do you mind if I use you in a three-way call? Oh yeah, no problem. That's what Chris and I did. So build your resources, guys. And I took pictures with everybody, because when you show people the testimonial page and you go, look, here's me standing with Teresa Finley, who lost 35 pounds, who blah, blah, blah. She's a real person. That just became edification for you. Look, here's us standing with Big Earl, who's lost 160 pounds and can't even keep track of his inches anymore. He's a real person. Here's us taking a picture with him. Look, here's me with the CEO of the company. But you don't get that every day. That's what you're looking for at these events, okay? So try and make that a goal for you guys. We've got double Terrys. Look at that.
We do. I can see Terry
one and
looking down and Terry looking up.
I need somebody for Nancy tomorrow.
You what?
I'm going to need somebody for Nancy tomorrow. I'm supposed to call Nancy back tomorrow. Anyway, this week.
I'll crack that nut. So does anybody have any questions for Susan? How does she get herself out of the way, guys? How does she get over her fears? How does she do this? How does she, get Susan out of the way and get the prospect what they need? Let's get into her psyche and figure out what it is that she's doing to be successful here.
There's golfing. I feel like I never got a chance to answer the last question you asked
Yes, please do. Go ahead.
What's that?
me.
Yep.
Okay, what was the question again?
I think it was how does it affect your business, right? Or what is it? Susan, when you were scared to get on the phone and make a three-way call, and when you knew pretend not to, what did you do to overcome your fear? What do you do to put yourself out of the way and get your prospect on the phone with a three-way call?
I would tell myself that this is my business. I need to build this business. A goal in mind could have been a good one. I do that during the day. And what also helps for me now when I start getting nervous when it's time to do my three-way calls I just tell myself I'm gonna call my mom. And you know what happens? I get a rush of the good hormones. I'm just like, I'm gonna talk to my mom. And for some reason my body believes it.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Feels good, all your guard is down. You don't care if you make a mistake. You're your best, not your best behavior, but you're completely relaxed so your brain's working.
I guess it's better than what I did. So when I was going in to talk to this teacher, and there were some students in the classroom. So I thought, you know what, I'll just give her a packet of coffee. So I gave her a packet of coffee, and then I walked out, and I thought, I left my bag up there, so I had to go back, and I called myself a chicken shit, and I said, you get back in there, and you do that three-way call. And I did, and even though there were students in there, I did do it. I did do the three-way call with Leah. So
Congratulations.
I
overcoming.
yes, you know what? But I like Susan's way better. I do.
Well, if you do the name calling, you're just making yourself just have a little bit too much on edge. You're not helping your brain go through the process. You're putting a little more stress on yourself than you're already in. You're already stressed out. You don't want to be more stressed in this situation.
Right.
Positive mind frame.
Susan, you told me something about how you believed that it wasn't about you, it was about the prospect, and that the prospect deserved to be plugged into the system properly, and they deserved to be introduced to Valentis the right way. And so that you knew that it wasn't about you, it was about them. And as soon as it was about them and helping them, that helped you get yourself out of the way because it wasn't about you. And I thought those words were really powerful because that takes a lot of strength and growth to understand that you took yourself out of the way for the other person because you believed that they deserve the best start in their business the right way, and it wasn't about you anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like I have blinders on. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm not looking right or left. I'm not looking at myself. I'm not looking up. I'm down. Straight ahead. Here's my prospect. This is what I'm doing today, and I'm heading toward my goal and my dream. I got my dream right in front of me, and I'm walking straight towards it. And I'm not letting anything on either side of me distract me.
Right.
You're an inspiration, Susan.
I think I love you, Susan.
Yeah.
What was that?
I think I love you.
So,
You know, Brenda,
I do.
Means a
before we
lot.
wrap this up, you guys, we're going to do our round robin that we like to do on our Zoom meetings. I'm going to pick on somebody. When I pick on you, I would like you to share with me one success that you experienced this week and one obstacle that the team can try to address for you and give you a tool that will help you overcome that the next time it ever happens. So your success can be as simple as staying committed to 15 minutes of personal growth every day. It can be as simple as I handed out 3 samples this week. It could be as simple as your first 3-way call being accomplished. Anything that you believe connects you to your Valentis business that you feel proud of, as small or as big as it may be, please share with us. And then an obstacle that you faced, whether it is big, small, it doesn't matter, something that got in your way. And if you present that to the team, anyone on the team who's ever faced a similar obstacle or been given a tool that helped them with that fight, please share, because we believe that everyone is a wealth of knowledge and everyone has different experiences. So I'm going to pick on someone first. And please share with me your success. So I'm going to start with somebody who's being very quiet tonight. Mia, good evening. So Mia, please share with me your success from this week and an obstacle from this week building your business. And let's tackle them for you and let's celebrate with you.
Well, first and foremost, saw that coming. Thank you. I would say probably the biggest success this week would have actually had to have been today because I finally got my Valentis stuff in the mail.
yay!
And I'm sitting here. I'm trying to tear this open and smell it. Am I gonna have water? I can't. Don't get me wrong, I love the Zoom calls, but I really can't wait to get off the phone with you guys so I can actually try this. Because I haven't tried the Immune or the Trim yet. I've only tried the Italian roast. So
Nice.
I'm very much looking forward to that. Definitely a few obstacles for me this week in terms of trying to sort of get back into the mindset of getting back into Valentis. I'm currently leaving my full-time job to actually dedicate a bit more time to this and haven't even tried all the products yet. So it's I find I'm a little more activity driven, and I know that's my biggest obstacle. And I know that being plugged into these Zoom calls has actually been very helpful, hearing your guys' feedback on how you sort of overcome a lot of obstacles.
Good.
So, going through all of that, and now I can actually dig into trying the products and really seeing how they affect me and relaying that feedback to prospects. I'm actually looking forward to that part.
Awesome. Thank you for the feedback. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
next
Sorry, what's that? You're breaking up.
Do you really have an obstacle that you need any help with the team from, or just you're kind of been on a personal journey right now as you're just getting?
I can't hear you guys.
Oh,
Oh, weird. Can anybody else hear us?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now, Mia? I think it's her phone.
I think her phone
So,
might be
well,
dying
she's
or
going to
something.
figure out how to disconnect and then reconnect, I think. So I'm going to pick on somebody else. I would love to hear your success from this week that we can help celebrate with you, and then an obstacle that you might have had to try to overcome this week, and we would love to be able to tackle it with you. So, Neely, you're up.
Hi.
Success and obstacle, my dear. You know the routine. Let's hear it.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Very well.
Successes have actually been, well, activity successes. I have an IR who just signed on last month as a 3-box or a 6-box, and she's already bought her next 6-box for the month, but she's signing up next week as a business builder.
Yay!
That's good. I posted my results from my 12-day cleanse, and I've had 4 people say, okay, fine, I've watched you for the last few months, let's talk to what it's going to do for me. So I've talked to 3 people today, 4 people today.
Wow.
And I had to this week write up so I have a mutual friend who came to the Valentis when Dawn was here. Still breastfeeding, not ready yet, but she's been telling all her friends about it. So she has 4 friends who want to learn more about it and find out about the prices and like all the language, but they have 0 interest in being connected with me.
Oh.
They think I'm going to sell them a vacuum. So I had to write up a blurb of all the 6 products, how you can get in, what my experience has been with it, kind of address all the questions ahead of time that they would have because they don't have anybody to ask, and they only want to deal with her. So she's given them like a 2-page thing that I wrote out with prices and links and all that other stuff, and just kind of wrote it out the way I talk, and hopefully that will resonate with somebody. And she's going to give me a call tonight and let me know what happened when she passed it on. So
Aren't you glad that you're a word wizard?
I am a word wizard, and I guess that works for me. And interestingly enough, there's a friend of mine in a mom group that messaged me tonight about my results and just my journey so far. And she only wants to lose weight like most people do, and that's fine. But I found an interesting way to connect with her a little deeper was I know that like she goes up to Milestones a lot. She does a lot of stuff with her son. She does a lot of wining and dining clients when they come in. Like she does a lot of extravagant living. And I said, I know that you and I are appreciate the finer things, and we both like to be available for social events, be available to go out and do these things that we want to do, to schmooze with people, to not restrict ourselves in any way, and still just live life to the fullest, and without having to restrict diet or anything or add shakes and stuff like that into your life. This is something that you can take as simply as possible that will still be able to facilitate you feeling better, losing weight, and still maintaining the lifestyle that you have. And that was
Perfect.
that really resonated with her. So that was another good way of saying it. So my struggles are always have everything to do with me. I really appreciate listening to Susan tonight because it looks so damn easy when she does it. But
Easy.
my hesitation always is if people just want to drink the coffee because they want to have a flatter stomach, I just hesitate so much to offer them that, not offer them because that's the wrong way to do it, but to bring them in a 3-way because I just feel like that's going to scare them from the simplicity of just the weight loss. I don't want to, I just feel like if I bring you guys in on these conversations, it's going to spook them and they're going to feel like, you know, they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I know I'm making up their mind for them. And I do need to get what?
Okay.
But that's
so-
what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of sabotaging it.
So that's what I was selling people a box of coffee. I get Leah on the phone. All of a sudden, she had them on a 3-way. All of a sudden, they weren't just getting rid of their toxins and their inflammation, losing weight. The Dream was helping them with their diabetes, which they didn't tell me about because they hadn't talked to Leah. Leah hadn't talked to or the fact. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Or the fact that they couldn't sleep at night, which immune boost would help them. So all of a sudden, you're just selling them the coffee. You're kind of you're not helping their full potential, of the products. You're not helping them get to the full potential. And yeah, I was focused a lot on the coffee too, but then Leah was selling me 3 boxes, and now I've gone to selling 6 boxes. My average is 6 boxes at a time that I'm selling.
Yep.
Well, the people are no longer just want the coffee. They want their knee pain to be gone. They want the spray, the Prevail Max. They want to get rid of their Candida. And I don't even know they have that problem until Leah gets on the phone. Leah gets the
I didn't even know they had that problem.
There was a lady who said her daughter's had it for 2 years.
Yep.
That's right.
If I wouldn't have gotten Leah on the phone, she said, if we had all the money that we've spent on, what is that natural, acidophilus, she said, if we had all the money that we have spent on acidophilus, nothing has helped. So all of a sudden, the breakthrough. And Leah brought up the Candida because I had her on the phone maybe 10 minutes, and then she said, this phone call's easy. Susan can take over from here. Just so I would build confidence in myself. She said the lady was so open that she just handed it off to me and said, here, finish it. And then the lady goes, well, what do I need? And I said, you need the coffee, the breakthrough, the cleanse. You need all 3. And then she got a 6-pack. So, yeah, I was just focusing on the coffee at the beginning too, but thank God I put Leah on the 3-way because Leah said you need to do a 3-way. I get Leah on the 3-way. All of a sudden, she sold her 3 boxes. What's going on in there? All of a sudden, she sold her 3 boxes, and the lady goes, I want some for my sister too. What can I get for my sister? She has this, and this. So all of a sudden, she just felt like we had helped her so much, she wanted to help a family man.
Right. Exactly.
Order it for them. So I went from 1 box of coffee, which she said helped her knees. Her knees weren't hurting after half an hour of drinking it, to the 3 box and then the 6 box. And I even told her, if you can't afford the 6 box, just get the 3 box. She's like, no, I want to get the 6 box. So just get it in your system. So
I want to address, Neely, your success is powerful because remember we talked about how everyone's always watching? People watched you and they came to you and said, okay, we've been watching your results. You posted 12 days of results and 4 different people came to you and said, we've been watching. So you stay consistent, stay true to your message. You stay consistent, you stay true to your message, which meant that the people that were watching eventually connected. So there's a message for everybody tonight. Everyone is always watching. Stay consistent, stay on Facebook, post regularly about your lifestyle advantages from Valentis, not about the products in the business, the lifestyle advantages that you have received from taking these products. The second thing that I would say in address to that, there are studies that prove that if you do not do a 3-way call or a connect call or get that kind of a system enrolling, you're going to have a higher fall off rate. And the reason is that human beings are actually naturally, we're pack animals. Yep. And there's always a guy in a corner selling watches from his jacket. And if you walk around being the only connection to those people and you're walking up to them going, you want some weight loss? You're the guy selling watches out of your jacket. Now, if you connect them to your manager, your employees, your boss, the CEO, you are now Spence Diamonds, which is a full company, a full team, a full desk that they can walk in, full service. There's a consultant there. Somebody can answer questions for them. They know they don't have to build the business alone because it's not just you and them. So a good three-way call, if it's done properly, shouldn't pitch a prospect. That's not what it's about. A good three-way call is only built on form. And a good three-way call is going to bring out their family, their occupation, their recreation, their mission, or their money. And if you are asking the right questions and you're listening properly, a good three-way call should only support the information that that prospect is willing to give. It should edify them in their hopes, their dreams, their needs, and the fact that Blentis can be an answer. And it should edify the rep who put them on the phone in the first place. So when I'm on that phone, I never want that person to feel like they have to only connect with me now. My entire job is to say, and you've got Susan, who is educated, and she's great. She's one of our fastest growing reps, and she knows the system, and she can get you all the answers that you need. Then they go, oh, really? On top of everything, the expert says I can trust this sponsor? Yes, the expert is telling you that you can trust Susan and her weight loss product, and you will get results because the expert on the phone just verified everything that Susan said. So it's actually the reverse. That person, if they're approached properly and the call is done right, should feel more secure and more confident buying into the concept of just another one of those things, just another product off the shelf, just another whatever that you might be sharing with them. And they should now feel like there's a full company, a full team, a full system, and it's all there and you're proving it to them. So I hear your fear on that. I see your fear on that. I raise your fear on that. I had the same thing. I was like, I don't need somebody to get on the phone and be like, hey, want to make $1 million and let's quit your job and let's build this business and blah, blah. And I was like, no, they just want to try the coffee. So that, you know, if somebody's just wanting to try the coffee and it's just for weight loss, a three-way call should go, or even at that point, if they really just want to be a customer, it can just be a welcome call. And it should be something along the lines of, I hear that you are interested in some of the similar things that got Chris and I interested in the first place when we first joined the company. Let me tell you a little bit about our journey and the results that we've had. I'm excited that you've made the choice to open up the doors for your future, for your health, for your wealth, for your time, whatever it is that you know that that person's looking for your weight loss. Some tips and tricks that I found were, if you're struggling in any areas, make sure that you get a hold of Neely or myself, because there's a lot of people out there that can help you if you come up against any roadblocks. Now they have support. And I'm super excited to meet you. Welcome to the Valentis family. We're all here for you on your journey, because even if they don't say it, nobody wants to be alone, and nobody wants to be alone in their weight loss struggle.
Yep.
And it was lovely to meet you tonight. I'm going to go, Neely. You guys finish up your chat. Have a good evening. I'll talk to you later. Click. That is a three-way call. It can be that simple.
Mm-hmm.
So it really does depend on what your prospect needs and how much they require from you as to how long you actually even need to be on the phone and how deep it's going to go anyway, right? And that's part of what you're going to tell the person that you're doing a three-way call with. Look, they don't need to be pitched. They're not interested in being sold anything. You know, don't upgrade them. They're literally in this for a box of coffee and some weight loss. Perfect. Get them on the phone. Hi, blah, blah, blah. It's that simple. What Susan's talking about, where people have been upgraded and gotten larger packs and we've uncovered some issues that they didn't even know they had, that basically, that was them telling me, because I asked the right questions and I just listened. That wasn't me telling them what they needed, right? And that came up through conversation. So thank you. That was a very valid point. I hope you guys all got something out of Neely's successes. I heard consistency. I heard sharing her results. I heard sticking to a 12-day breakthrough and announcing what she was doing to the world. I heard people watching her for months on end, finally reaching out. Yeah, go ahead.
So we, because we know about Valentis, know that the Weight Loss Accelerator Pack is not specifically for weight loss.
Right.
We understand that, right?
We understand that the 12 and 24 is what got us here in the first place.
Yeah.
And don't forget that.
So when I get randoms that message me that are friends, they have like a significant amount of weight to lose, and they say, well, how much is the breakthrough? I want to do the 12-day cleanse too. And I know that the only thing they want is more energy, but for sure they want to be thinner. I don't want to pitch the breakthrough. So I want to give them what I know is going to give them more results.
Yes, and I agree. I do the same thing, and I also preempt that with, but you may have candida, your results may not be as accelerated as you hope that they would be.
Yeah,
So,
and I always say that it's a super, you're in, like, some people gain, some people lose. Everybody's insides are completely unique to them, whatever's going on. Like, you may be somebody who gains 8 pounds at the end of the thing, and then boom, you're done with your belief in weight loss through Valentis because you've just picked the wrong tool for the wrong job. Is that fair to say?
What you just brought up is one of the most important things that you can ever do in network marketing on any level ever. Thank you, sweetheart. With anyone at any time in any part of this business. That is called managing expectations. The number one reason for failure in network marketing is someone not having correct expectations and being disappointed and quitting. That is the first thing that will cause reps to fall off, that will cause people to fall off a product. We always preempt what's going to happen with the products. We leave a very wide view. I never get on the phone and go, you're going to lose 12 pounds in the first 2 weeks. It's the best thing that's ever happened to you. I can't wait until you make $1 million a year. It's going to happen in the first 6 months and woohoo, click. I would not have business. So you're right, Neely. That's exactly what you have to do. You have to lay the groundwork. The first thing that I do with people, if I really think that they actually might need the breakthrough, but I want them to get weight loss results, is I get them on the 12-24 program. I warn them that the following month may consist of a 6-box pack, including breakthrough. And that night, I ask them to do a candida test. So when you're off the phone or when you're done talking with them, I say it's as simple as a quick home test. Grab a glass of water, put it on your nightstand. First thing in the morning, swish all the spit in your mouth, spit it into the cup. If you've got tentacles coming down in the water or cloudy sections floating, you have candida. Now, if that's the case, we can still try the 12 and 24 program. You will still lose weight. Generally, most people do. But if you find that you plateau or you stall, like I did, I lost 23 pounds and then the brakes got put on, then let's address it at that point because we have a product that will help you. Mm-hmm. That's what we've been doing. We've been using it as a, if this tool is required,
that's a good segue.
To help you through those plateaus or through the stall of the weight loss.
Yeah, because I don't want to, when they ask point blank questions like I just want to do the 12-day cleanse because I happen to have some movement in my weight. Yeah. I don't want to say I don't think you should buy that. I just
you have to warn them.
I make it a bigger picture and talk about a wider picture. And talk about what could happen, what has happened to other people. But if I know that their motive is just simply weight loss, I would probably pitch the 12 and 24 or 2 coffees and an energy or a trim or something like that, rather than,
So then that's when you're going to get into juggling 6 boxes versus 3 boxes. So if you get the person started on that 12 and 24 program, and then the next month if they have to do the breakthrough, I would do a breakthrough, the 12 and 24 program. And then if they're doing the breakthrough, I would get them to throw in that max product. And even an extra breakthrough so that the next month they could do 3 boxes and then the following month they could do the breakthrough again.
Yeah.
You kind of need, that's assessing their individual situation, but what you're saying is bang on. Absolutely. Yeah. Manage your expectations with these products. 12 and 24 got us here, and I firmly believe that 12 and 24 is what's going to carry us through the next level.
Yeah.
I believe that those other products are specific for needs when they're required, and you have to be careful with that weight loss accelerant pack being what's going to cause massive weight loss in people that are not physically active.
Yeah.
That's what I believe is the trick. I believe that trim and that immune with the fiber and the aloe vera and the things that are pulling this stuff out of people's bodies, that is required. So it really is each person that you're talking to.
Okay.
So yes. I see that some people are jumping off the call because we're running a little bit long tonight. Okay. So I'm still going to pick on Wendy. Success and obstacle. Please share.
Wow. Okay, that's tough. Obstacle. Okay, I have been suffering with doubt the last few weeks. I've been very busy in life.
Yeah.
But, of all the people that we've signed up with Valentis, we have nobody excited. And we have nobody that is having great results. Okay. Most of the people that we've signed up have hoped to lose weight, and everyone's discouraged out there, and it makes me discouraged. So today, got back on it, listened to Corey Johnson's call that everyone was saying was so awesome. Love it. Like I'm feeling like I want to get my head back into this business.
Good.
but the lack of results from our people weighs on me. Now, a good thing that happened is just today, a friend I talked to 3 months ago wants to buy. Yay! Yes, this is exciting. Yay! I am now gun shy, and this is a good friend. And if she doesn't get good results, I will feel terrible. So, and Neely, I don't know what to offer people anymore. I thought it was the 12 and 24 for the longest time, and then now I'm not so sure about that. I don't even know what to think of the accelerator pack. So here now today, good thing, my friend wants to buy for her and her husband, and I don't even know what to tell her to buy. So that's my obstacle and my success all in one.
Okay.
I love it. Thank you so much for being so raw and open and real with us. I really appreciate you trusting us with that journey. I hear your pain in that. I hear that it's hard when people trust you and you put your name out there and you go all in with these products and you share them, and then you're not getting that affirmation from people. Before I respond, is there anyone else out there who wants to address, has anybody else felt similarly or had a similar struggle? What about being deflated and, like she's saying, having to try to get plugged back in? But where do you pull that strength from? Does anybody want to speak to that?
I have a couple of people who have been, I guess, 1 month in, and one girl hasn't lost any weight, but she's also been spending a lot of time at the P&E and eating a lot of cotton candy, and she works at A&W, so her environment around her is difficult. I have, because she's a personal friend of mine and I know the products work, I have put more effort and more connection in with her in helping her come up for, I don't know your friend situation, but I have come up with, I've sent her recipes. I've helped her come up with ways to meal plan, things, I've sent her inspirational things. I'm trying to just stay connected with her and just check in and to validate her frustration, but to also let her know that you're really not giving it your all. You need to commit to, you need to give it at least a month. Like you can't just crap out 7 days in because you haven't lost 15 pounds. You just, I don't know. I just try to stay connected because they're doing it because they trust you and they believe that you're their ticket and you're the gatekeeper into better health. So if you have that connection with her as a friend already, then I would just problem solve with her and maybe give her examples of how you've not plateau, but how you've struggled and you feel her pain and what can we do? What do you need? And like my friend in particular lives in Vancouver. I am contemplating running over there and taking her grocery shopping and helping get her into, because it's not just I'm going to drink the coffee and then the skinny happens. Like there's a lot more to it. And I've found, like I've said before, that the business itself is personal growth and personal development. So if you're at a stage where you're looking for something different and you want to try something different, then maybe you just need to try the things you're doing need to be different. So stick with it. And I have no idea if that helped at all, but I do understand how you feel for sure.
Thank you, Neely. No, it does help. Go ahead, please.
So I think what Neely's talking about is coaching. That's part of the job.
Yeah.
That's part of the job. We're not thank you for your order, see you later type of people.
Yeah.
This Valentis isn't about that. And it's very important to understand that weight loss specifically is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Leah and I have had enough experience, Neely has had enough experience now that we know that the majority of people that use these products the right way and follow the instructions and do it correctly, they will lose weight. Our belief is rock solid. There's no wavering. But I can understand how somebody in the first little while, if you don't have that immediate response, that you could get discouraged. So you may need to draw on some of our stories. So just trust us to know that that there's enough
To build
people
while
here
you're building your
while you're building your belief and getting that under your belt. Now, specifically on weight loss, when you have somebody who's saying, I'm taking the products, it's not
Hi,
working.
Sarah.
Okay. First, the first one is, are they taking the products properly?
Yeah, that's actually, you know what? You'd be surprised how often people aren't. Often that's happened where we're like, you don't take the immune because
I don't really like
it.
I don't like the trim and the immune very
So
much.
I've just been skipping them.
Yeah.
Actually,
I have a coffee every second day, but it's not working.
Yeah.
I've literally heard that.
Actually, though, like we literally this last week had a rep and she was doing the 12 and 24 and complaining about not losing any weight. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And she was, I'm eating and I drink lots of water, blah, blah, blah. So then we saw her do another order.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells me that she was actually feeling really gross and gassy and she was like tooting all the time. So she was embarrassed. So she stopped drinking the trim and the immune and she was just drinking the coffee. And I'm like, well, of course, you're supposed to get gassy for a few days. That's totally normal. Let me show you how inulin fiber works, blah, blah, blah. And she went, oh, okay, maybe I'll try it again. So then she reordered. Then it was, she was on the Brazilian. We got her onto the Italian. Then I actually drove to her house face to face, sat down and talked to her. And then she went, oh, okay, well, I'll try and do it. I actually wasn't drinking the immune. I didn't really like it that much. Come on. And it's funny because just on Facebook, she was doing everything right. But then she admitted when I saw her boxes of full products still that she actually wasn't taking those products properly. So then I get this message after I brought her the Italian. I took her Brazilian home, gave her some Italian. She's got the Italian and the trim and the immune now. I get a text message 3 days later. Oh my gosh, I'm down 5 pounds since Thursday.
Wow.
And I was like, thank you very much, Valentis. It works, but she wasn't using the products.
So
and we have many stores.
Yeah.
That was just one recently that I was thinking of. So
Yeah. So using the products properly, drinking enough water is a major one.
that's big.
And
not using the product as an excuse to gorge yourself on other stuff.
and that's the other one
Yes,
is you
I
can
like
that.
you can eat yourself out of any program at all. Okay?
Yeah.
You can eat more calories than you can burn. It doesn't matter how much of the Valentis product you can drink. Slim roast coffee straight. But if you're chasing it with a chocolate bar every single
How
time,
did you know I hit the wrapper?
so there is a personal commitment that has to be made towards. We're not saying you have to crazy diet. That's the whole point. Is that right? You have to set the right expectation for them and make sure that they're expecting that they're going to eat right, they're going to eat healthy-ish. Better maybe change a few habits, and this is going to help them change the habits. It's weight management. You're able to take someone's appetite and where it would be so strong for them to want to go and grab that snack at 9 o'clock, you're going to say to them, well, that trim is going to give you that strength to resist it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key is coaching people into understanding that the products are designed to help you lose weight.
Yeah, they're not a magic pill.
Assist you. Yeah.
They're
You're
assisting.
assisting, absolutely.
And
They're
they work
supporting.
really, really well.
Supporting role, not a main role.
Your body.
Yeah.
So that's I think those are big ones that we found so far. People not taking
Mhm.
products properly. That was a huge one. Don't assume they are. Don't tell them what they need to do. Ask them what they've been doing. That's a big difference. I ask, can you tell me what your daily routine is like? Sure, I blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you can't drink the trim at 10 o'clock in the morning and go for the rest of the day and then tell me that you're having a problem snacking at night. No kidding. So
Joanna
you what?
Joanna a couple days ago had an event that she had to go to, and she had been preoccupied or just too busy to do her products at home. So she's sitting in her daughter's recital at 5 o'clock at night with her Slim Roast, Immune, Trim, Energy, and AM PM Breakthrough, everything together in one big cup.
Did she sleep at all
She's
for
like-
3 days?
She's like, well, I have to get this done, so we're just going to mix it all together. I was like, oh.
Wow.
It wasn't horrible, but it's probably not something she'll do again, she said.
Oh my word. See, Wendy, not everyone's taking the products properly. And then the other thing is, now I understand, like you said, you've got a lot of people. So for no one to be getting results, that is discouraging. If we can at least start to individually address each person, we might find that there is an answer for each individual person. A big one, and I know people think it's just a catchword, but Candida is huge. If any of those people are on birth control, if they've taken antibiotics, if they have had surgery, if they have a swollen stomach and it's only stomach fat that they have to lose, I mean, the list goes on. They have Candida, and realistically, you might lose 3 or 4 pounds, but you're going to stall. Maybe they need the breakthrough. And I also know Brazilian versus Italian, we had different results with that for different people's bodies. A lot of people love the Brazilian, they swear by it. Other people love the Italian, they swear by it. They were on that Brazilian product for a while because you guys started when Brazilian was the only option. I know it's going to be really hard. We had a lot of fall off in the few months where people just weren't getting the results from the Brazilian. But when that Italian came out, Chris and I went into our back office and we begged people to just believe in us one more time and said, you have to try the Italian. It's going to be a different ride for you. And those people that did have faith in us and trust us enough to try it are now getting results again. So if you can get people onto that Italian Slim Rolls with that Italian Trim Immune, and you can get them onto that 12 and 24 program, and you can get them consistent, and you can say, we have this second coffee because it's a different recipe, because everyone's body is different.
Yeah.
Can we please try this other option? I know it, and if they're still not really, that breakthrough might be their answer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd have to know more about each individual person's case to be able to give you more of a direct answer that might help you. But I think if you and Terry can both look at your why, and you can look at that roadmap to Diamond, and you can say, why did we get in this in the first place?
The computer froze. Sorry.
Oh, there you are.
If you guys can look at your roadmap to Diamond, and you can look at that why, and you can remind yourselves, why did we want to build in the first place? And you can stay strong enough to get through the hurdle of a product change, I promise you it comes back. Chris and I had a very large back office, and it went down to almost nothing because of a product change, because people don't like change. That's the reality of it. Our business has come back larger than it was before the product change, because it's a relaunch and it's exciting, and everybody, and you get better at it as you go, and it's exponential growth, right? So if you guys can just hang in there, get plugged in, get some training under your belt, plug into that support. Also, the people you're bringing on board, plug them in. Because when they're not getting the great results that they might have wanted in those first few weeks, but they hear our CEO get on the phone and they hear his passion and they hear him say, I can't lie to me.
That was so good.
Wasn't that good? I know that these products work. Now, they're not only pulling on Wendy and Terry as their support system for energy source, right? You can't be everyone's energy source. You have to plug them in to the calls, to the team, to the Zooms, so that they can build their belief, because it might not be you that even builds it for them. It could be somebody in Alberta who has the same story. Plug them in as much as possible and let their belief grow, and let them, Chris and I, our belief and our building and our development did not come from our direct upline. And I'm telling you that because you have to step into this company, and you have to connect to the people that you connect to, and you have to build. You have to find a mentor. You have to plug into what feeds your heart and what feeds your belief. Mm-hmm. And you have to grow with whoever around you helps that. And so do your reps. So get them plugged in.
Thank you.
That will help for sure. Okay. And maybe afterwards, if I talk a little bit more with you about maybe individual situations, like this is what the person was fighting, this is what they've said to me, this is what they're dealing with, I can try to address it more personally. So yeah, feel free to reach out. We can try and help you with those things. We've again gone super, super, super long. You guys have given us so much of your evening. Thank you so, so much. Chris and I in the future will try to keep these down to 45 minutes. We're going way longer, but I think this is what happens when you've got your first few Zooms going. There's just so much. Did you get it, Elizabeth?
I did!
Woo! There's just so much to share, and there's so much passion, there's so much excitement because we're growing, and there's so many wonderful things going on. So I really appreciate you guys all giving us so much of your evening.
Thank you.
I hope you had some fun with this. And feel free to message us with your questions during the week. We asked for that last week, and did we address Terry's questions tonight? Terry, you sent us a wonderful list of questions, and
that's right.
You had something to do with that. And I'm not sure if we even addressed those properly tonight. So I will make sure to go back to those questions and see if we can, we've obviously talked a little over. See if we can address those on the next Zoom. I really appreciate that feedback, you guys. Chris and I can ramble, clearly. on whatever topic. But if we know what our team needs directly, we can address that for you.
When
You know what, can I just say, I really don't think that you guys ramble. I don't, because as a new rep, I'm really gleaning off of what you guys say and what everybody else in the team is saying. Like, is it Wendy that was just talking? Is that what her, Wendy? Oh man, Wendy, my heart really goes out to you, and I love it that, you know what, you are just pressing in and that you just keep going. Now you're reaping 90 days, that you just keep going. And maybe those people that aren't happy, like I'm just thinking about myself, because I haven't connected back with some of the people as well, that maybe I need to do three-way. You know, maybe I need to get Leah and Chris on a three-way with those people, because I'm not the one that has the answers. I don't.
Yes.
But you know what? Leah and Chris can definitely address what they are not pleased with, or what they're not finding success with. You know, I think about Candida. I don't know about all the products. I'm hearing about Breakthrough and I'm like, oh, okay, we got it downstairs, but I don't even know what it does. So I'm thinking that, you know what, I really need to plug those people in to Leah and Chris so that they can actually field what their concerns are, because clearly I can't answer those concerns.
what ends up happening is when you do that, Elizabeth, is you end up learning all those things.
Yeah.
And that knowledge gets passed down, and that's exactly how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to plug people. I mean, that's why it works. You just end up learning from people that have already kind of tread the trail for you.
Right. And you know what? And I'm picking that up, and that's totally what I need to do, because I'm not the expert, and I see how, you know, how Susan is doing, and she's really successful. And you know what? We're all in this for the long haul. I do need to say, Neely, you are my superhero. I love that outfit that you were wearing. It was so awesome. But you know what? I love this team. I love being connected to you guys. I love learning from you guys. And you know what? Geez, I wish I could do this full time, but clearly I can't right now because I'm making an apple crisp. But you know what? I'm trying to do this business, and I know that in 4 years listening to Don Carson, I'm telling you, 4 years I'm retiring, and this is my why. I am doing it. I don't care what people say. I am married to the process, and I'm divorcing the results. So see, I'm in this with you.
Good job.
Yeah. Yes.
That is awesome. That is exactly
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Support team behind you, Wendy. You hang in there.
Yes.
Someone once
Yes.
said, don't ask me if it's hard. Ask me if it's
Oh.
worth it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're gonna have hard times. You're gonna have, and you know what? That's when we did our biggest amount of growing and learning, was through those times. So if you can just hang in there through this lull, it's going to go back up. It will.
Yes.
So,
Yes, it will.
stay plugged in. Communicate with someone daily. Share outside of Terry, outside of your marriage. Find someone you can plug in with. Find someone you can text back and forth. Be accountable to somebody. I'm okay with being that person. Just reach out to someone that's outside of your personal circle, because
I
you
can help
can
too.
yourself, and your husband will not make you cry by making you go do it. Somebody else today.
Yes.
Take your calls today. So
I'll help where I can as well,
thank you.
because that keeps me accountable as well.
That's
That's
exactly right.
awesome.
And I like apple crisp too.
Yeah. I'm also posting your Elizabeth. I'm posting your address for everyone. I think it's about 45 minutes till that's out of the oven, right?
Oh my gosh. You know what I had to do? I had to hide these from Steve. These are those cookies that I made.
He's eating them.
Oh man, look at them.
That looks
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
They're just amazing. They are. I'm doing a catered event tomorrow. And you know what happened? I actually made this apple crisp last night. I put it in the cupboard at school. And you know what? We have an infestation of ants.
Oh no.
I took the cover off, and the whole top of a 9x11 pan was swarming in ants.
Oh,
They are coming to pick this up tomorrow morning at
Protein
9:30.
source.
Oh,
Protein.
oh,
I
Yes.
know.
That's a nightmare.
You meant to do it.
Oh. So
So anyways, look at that. I got to do this and I got to be on the Zoom call. Woo!
I love it. I love this business. It just fits in everywhere. It's so amazing.
It does. It does. Thank you, guys.
So
Okay,
please send us your feedback throughout the week. Send us your questions. Send us your struggles. Send the things that if we know ahead of time, we can try to gather information so that we don't ramble. We can kind of just address points and get
Yes.
Keep on point. Yeah.
So that's enough for this evening, I think, right? We're going to stop the recording and.
Yeah, so I think that we should end this call the same way that we should end every call that we have with a prospect, and that is to set the next appointment. That's important to remember, is that when you're talking to somebody and you're giving them an exposure, that the goal of that exposure, that the end of it is to set the next exposure, set the time frame as to when you're going to follow up or when they're going to talk to them again. That is super, super important. So let's do that right now. When would you guys like to see another Zoom meeting? Any feedback? Next week, same time? Do you want it sooner?
I like Mondays, Tuesdays, personally.
Okay.
Mondays work for me.
Okay. So Monday? Does that work?
Yeah, Monday at 7:30.
Okay, we're going to set it for Monday at 7:30. We'll put the post.
Wait, that's
Awesome. Excellent.
One moment. That conflicts with another group that.
Tuesday night works next week.
Tuesday.
Tuesday night works for us.
Does Tuesday the 20th work?
Yeah.
Tuesday 20th, hang on. Not the 13th?
That's a long time.
Oh wait,
now.
the 13th. Yes, the 13th.
13.
Yes.
So like Chris said, it's an average of 5 contacts for a new prospect. You have to remember that, an average of 5 touches. And every touch, your only goal is to set an appointment for the next touch. If your goal in your mind is to enroll them, they can smell it. It's called commission breath, and nobody likes that. If your goal is to connect with them again, if your goal is to invest in them again, if your goal is to care about them again and to ask about their life and how they're doing, and if they're interested, that's a connect. And so when you get off the phone, it's how long do you think it's going to take you to take a look at the website? Is about a week okay? Sounds good. What if I give you a call next Tuesday? You can just touch base. Yeah, next Tuesday sounds great. Perfect. Click. You now have a right to call them because they gave you permission. If you don't have an open door with permission, now you're just harassing them. As long as you're asking for permission, they've asked you to contact, and that's okay. In fact, when people say no to us, no, I'm not interested. That's great, but I've learned that life tends to throw us all these curveballs. It's a bit of a roller coaster. You never know what's coming. We have no idea where we're going to be in 3 months. So are you opposed to me giving you a call in, say, I don't know, September, October, just touching base and seeing how you're doing? No, I think that's fine. Boom, enter an appointment in your calendar. You have permission to contact them. Good point, Chris. Every contact is attempting to schedule further contact.
And a sneak peek that next week I'm reviewing this week a app that I found, which I think will completely encompass that exact process. It is available and it's free. So
We're looking for a simple system.
I'm gonna look at it this week. I'm gonna go and kind of kick the tires a little bit, and if it works out, then I'm gonna, I think, present maybe for 5 or 10 minutes on that next week. So.
And we want to see your calendars. I don't see any June Blitz for Florida calendars being posted in Valentis Dream Team. So record your daily points. Get yourselves on there. Be accountable to a team verbally and out loud. That's how you build success. So let's see some pictures of your calendars up there, and let's see who's going to be in Florida in September.
All right, folks.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.